Welcome back to Tulips and Honey, the mega list, the very rare mega list happening on a Saturday. Also, sorry about that previous mega list beginning, which did not work. So I had to shut the whole thing down and restart it, which, like you unplug and then you count to 15 and then you plug it back in, and that's what I did. So now we're working, and it should be working perfectly now, hopefully, across all the boards, although it does look like it's lagging from my end. I don't know if it's lagging on y'all's end, but hello and welcome back. This is really weird that we're doing it on a Saturday. I know we usually do it on a Friday, but I was actually really, really hoping that the box, the food box thingy the Universal Yum box that we get each month was going to be here today, and it's not. And also just like super duper struggling with the abilities that are usually the only talents that I have, like talking. So you guys can definitely be praying for me for that, because I don't usually struggle to do this, and this has been a little bit more of a struggle. But I did want to say quickly hello to everybody already in the comments. Hello everybody. Hello to Joshua from Godcast. Godcast, got it right. Also Chris from Voice of Reason Radio. Patrick from Cave to the Cross Apologetics in the house, talking about mint chocolate chip ice cream. You guys, come on now. Do we continue to have these battles? I don't know. I don't understand if it's just like my passion for food or what, but no to the mint and chocolate. I just personally don't think they go together. I know, okay, this one I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose this battle. I understand lots of people, they like their mint and their chocolate, but I don't. Do you know what I like in my ice cream? My chocolate ice cream? More chocolate, okay? I like brownies and chocolate syrup and maybe some chocolate sprinkles on top, because what goes best with chocolate is more chocolate, and also sometimes strawberries. So also hi to Cindy T in the comments, and also Anita from over in New York. Did I read that right? New York? Right? Yeah. Wow. Hello and welcome to the mega list. I'm gonna make sure that I did not miss anyone. Hello to Janitha and also Miyoshi and Cindy M. We have everybody in the comments, you guys. Wow, maybe I should do this on Saturday every time. Is this a better day for everybody? Costco has decadent chocolate brownie cake. Okay, Joshua gets it, right? Josh, you get it? You understand what goes with chocolate is chocolate, and then cake. You could put cake and chocolate ice cream, and then more chocolate and lots of extra chocolate on top of that, as long as it's not, yes, thank you, Chris, mint chocolate chip is evil. It is of the evil one. Thank you. I'm glad I have at least one brother in Christ in the comments who knows how to eat food. I just, it's sad to me that there are so many people who want to burden their taste buds with the wrong things, but that's okay. It's okay. That is very encouraging. Thank you, Cynthia. Yep, no date. I'm listening. I'm really, really glad to hear that. I have wondered about the Friday night thing, because I feel like probably maybe everybody else isn't like me, where, Friday nights, okay, maybe I can't recall there ever being a time where Friday night meant anything. Maybe whenever I was a teenager, but I'm pretty sure I was just as big of a dork then as I am now. Friday nights mean nothing, and it's depressing, when everybody is like, woo, Friday night, ooh, yeah. Okay, and so that means couch time? or what? So I think, that's mostly why Friday was a cool day to pick for this. And also Friday was just happened to be the day that I was posting the Megalist blog post. And then, so it just kind of coerced like that. And Fridays are just never a time whenever I have anything going on. A lot of people have things happening on Saturday. Chris says I'm a hit and a miss. Depends on what day Rich and I can record. Friday or Saturday is a toss-up. Yeah, that makes sense. If you guys are already recording, it would be difficult to stop what you're doing to watch. Obviously, I expect you to do that. I mean, why would this not be more important than your own recording? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Miyoshi says we're an old married couple, so have no preference. That's funny. I'm glad to hear that we're not the only married couple that are like Fridays. But since my husband is a hospital worker, most of the weekends, if not at the least every other weekend, he's going to be at work. And so I don't know if that has something to do with the fact that we're just really we're not concerned about Fridays, but I just don't ever remember a time where we were ever like, woohoo, Fridays. Like, that's when the movie theater is more busy, so we never did that on Fridays. We always went for like the Dollar Tuesday nights. I just can't think of what people get excited to do Friday nights. Like, it's been a long week by Friday. Doesn't everybody else just want to sleep? I don't know. But if Saturday is a better day for everybody, or there's a different time, you guys can always let me know. It will either affect my decision to do it on Saturdays, or it will not affect my decisions to do it on Saturdays. I don't know. It just really, really depends. Chocolate chip mint ice cream is blasphemy for sure. Thank you, Cindy T. Thank you. God bless you. Okay, I'm glad we're not alone, Chris. There's other people in this. Do you see what you've started, Patrick? Do you see what you did? You waltz in here, in the comment section, and you just drop a bomb in a trash can fire. Can we say bomb on these anymore? I'm not sure if we can. You start a trash can fire, and then you just waltz out with your pineapple pizza in your mouth. This is what's happening here. Midnight special with Wolfman Jack. There you go. Midnight specials. That makes sense. I can understand if there's something special going on. I don't know. Every Friday, are there people that, is it just a movie myth that there are people who actually care about Fridays? Is that just me? Because I remember whenever I was working way back, because as Patrick has pointed out in the past, stay-at-home homeschooling moms don't actually work. So way back whenever I did work, which by the way was a lot less work than what I have to do now. So I'm not really sure why I agreed to that. But back whenever I worked, and I had to leave and then come back home, if Friday was like, oh, thank goodness we can sleep, right? And then you have children come along, and it's like, just kidding, no day of the week is the day that you can sleep, because some of us have children who walk in their sleep. So terrified of, sleeping, because there was that time a few years ago whenever she thought she was playing hide and seek with mommy in her sleep. And so she tried to unlock the front door and escape in the middle of the night at like 1 a.m. It was terrifying. Just this morning, because of course my night shifter husband is adorable. He's sleeping during the day. He had the Nerf gun in his hand in his sleep. I forgot to tell him about this. Hopefully he's watching at work right now, but he did. He had the Nerf gun in one hand, and he was petting Clementine, the producer, our golden doodle, with his other hand, and he was telling her what a good job she did. And he was just like, yep, you did a really great job. Good job. Great job. And I was like, can I get this on recording before it stops? And of course, by the time I got my phone out to record it, it was over. But yeah, that was a lot of squirrels. Pineapple on pizza, squirrels on podcasts, and chocolate on chocolate. These are a few of your favorite things. Oh my goodness. I have a song. I need somebody. Kristen, you can sing. I need you to put this together and create me a whole song, because you have a beautiful voice, and this would be hilarious. Except for no pineapple on pizza. No pineapple on pizza. I just realized what you slipped in there. Wow. You almost got me to agree to that. Very sneaky. Very, very sneaky. I'm impressed. I'm very, very impressed. Hidden cameras is what we need, Kristen. We had this conversation. Seriously, we definitely need some sort of hidden camera where I can catch him at his craziest. I have some great video of him in his sleep doing really, really funny, crazy things. But it's always poorly shot, like the video, because it's daytime. It's not super duper dark, but we at least have like blackout curtains and stuff everywhere so that he can sleep and things like that. But it's still really, really funny to listen to the nonsense that comes out of his mouth. I really, one of these days, I mean, I hold on to the videos as like, blackmail. So I have all of the videos and I hold on to them. Yeah, blackmail material. Chris, we totally said that at the exact same time. I definitely had all of that. And I usually bust it out around like the holidays whenever we get around family. And then for, blackmailing purposes, I hoard all of those videos. But, okay, I'm sorry. That was a lot of squirrels, and we actually do have a reason to do this. I'm glad that there were squirrels because I was a little nervous. I'm not, what is the expression? I'm not running at 100%. I don't know why I want to say punching at 100%, but I'm pretty sure that's not the right expression. But I am definitely, my brain is less functioning than usual. How about that? Which is saying something, right? Like, we can all agree that that's not normal. Your already squirrely, confused host is struggling even to put together regular sentences that should actually be somewhat easy for me. So my brain has decided to skip out for a little while. And so I'm glad that we're at least doing some stuff here where it's working, and we've had a little bit of fun already. So that's good. Probably wouldn't have happened if not for Patrick, so thank you for that dumpster fire of disgusting ice cream. I'm going to give you guys a quick squirrel. Now, last Friday, the last Megalist, I gave you guys a challenge to see if anybody could find a cuter squirrel than this. No one could, so I'm just going to keep showing you guys your failure. No one found a better squirrel than this, and you won't. You won't. Look at that. Look at the cuteness of that squirrel. Nobody's going to find a better video of a squirrel, but I did get sent some really cute squirrel pictures, and I will show you those right now. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. That's pizza. Here they are. No, that's pizza. There we go. This is Alvin the Squirrel. You guys have seen Alvin. He comes in for some snackies. Brad sent me this, and this is adorable. This squirrel obviously knows that people secretly love them, and or maybe he just wants the bird feeder filled back up. I'm not sure which one it is, but I have to be honest, that's as close as we got to anything that was even remotely as cute as the squirrel water skiing with attitude and a cape. Water skiing with attitude and a cape. Not real sure how you're going to beat that. But somebody will hopefully eventually do it. And if not, I'm just going to continue to rub this in y'all's faces. That I somehow found the best squirrel. It seems unlikely to me considering how many squirrels you guys sent me. But that's where we stand right now. Maybe I should start like in the background. I can have weeks gone by where like how many weeks have you guys been losing on this front, and how many weeks have I been winning? Chris is trying to downplay my adorable squirrel because he was unable to find something better. And you know what? It's okay. Not everybody can be, not a sore loser. What's the opposite of a sore loser? Like a happy winner. See what I mean about the words? They're not there. You guys could probably already tell last week that things were going downhill. Luckily, I don't do anything that involves just talking for a living. So, good thing, I don't need that faculty. I'm a squirrel loser. You guys are the ones that are a squirrel loser, though, because this is one time I'm actually winning. Cindy T is going to continue to try to point out that I agreed to the pineapple pizza thing. Cindy T, me and you, listen, we're going to get together. We're going to pray about your taste buds. We're going to pray about the pineapple pizza. And everything is going to be okay. Maybe. I'm kidding. It's not okay. Pineapple pizza is never okay on pineapple pizza is never okay on what? Pineapple is never okay on pizza. You guys, it's just, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to talk to my doctor when we get back to Bismarck. Everything is going to be fine. I'm sure they just need to, continue medicating me further. I don't know. You guys don't understand, though. I genuinely believe that it is a lack of vitamin D that is causing all of the issues, because I haven't seen the sun shine in weeks. It just never shines here, and it's always rainy, and not just rainy, but there's never a break in the clouds, and then the sun goes down at 4, And so when the sun goes down at 4, it's already dark, pitch dark, because it's cloudy everywhere here. And so I'm pretty sure that like a lack of vitamin D is causing some issues. I'm thinking that's what it is. Hello, Ruth. I'm glad to have you. Kristen, you are right. We are not rebuking the pineapple pizza hard enough. That is actually the case. You guys, I don't know if you saw it, but the last interview I did over on the podcast, it was Monday's interview with the Hunts. They actually were pro pineapple pizza. So, I mean, you guys had one win. It's been a while. Hello, Nicole. What's your Facebook page name so I can send you squirrel stuff? You know what? It is actually Tulips and Honey Hub is the Facebook page. And then there's a group on Facebook called Tulips and Honey Hub where you can post all of the cool squirrel stuff. Or you can email it to me at biblicalbeginnings@outlook.com. And you can send me whatever epic squirrels you have and or your fluffy critters, because we do love to share to show off people's fluffy puppies. We have a producer here, Clementine. She's asleep. Also, we have Mr. Forkle. He does nothing. He's useless, but he's also asleep. He's cute. That's all he's got. He's cute, and he's obnoxious, and he's a brat, but he doesn't do any work. Clementine, on the other hand, answers all of the hate mail. So she actually has a job to do, even though she's a dog. So you can send me your fluffy babies as well if you want to. But the contest is going to continue with the epic squirrel. And I hate to be, like so cocky about this, but I'm just telling you guys that I'm not really sure what you're going to do to beat a squirrel literally with a cape and attitude, just riding on the water. Like this is just an everyday thing. And you know what? Maybe for the squirrel, maybe this is an everyday thing. Maybe I am confused about how epic this squirrel actually is. Maybe this is the least of the cool things he's done. What you guys actually need to do is find that squirrel and see him doing other cool stuff, because obviously he's the one that should be winning all of that glory, because he's the one actually performing the really cool thing. All I did was find the video, which isn't actually all that impressive, but I'm just going to take credit for it anyways. Let's keep rolling. We got lots of cool stuff to talk about tonight, and I have already rambled on for 18 minutes, and literally right before my husband left, we were talking about the fact that I'm going to struggle to talk because, talking is something that for whatever reason right now isn't working for me. Definitely he was like, well, just keep your megalist down below 15 minutes. And I was like, it's always my goal to be below 30 minutes for the megalist every week. The purpose of the megalist is to have a short little list where we come together. I share with you guys some cool stuff that I found. I share with you guys some cool stuff that you guys found. We talk a little bit back and forth, and then it's supposed to be over. But we have literally gone on and on about squirrels and food for 20 minutes. So let's get into the actual stuff. I did show you, the squirrels, the Brad squirrel. So, I did one thing on the list, just check marked. Also, I wanted to show you guys Harold's dinner here. Harold sent this in the group that I mentioned earlier. Obviously, this is disgusting blasphemy. And you can see there in the corner, one slice of pizza is just regular pepperoni. That is the only redemption that this picture holds. Thank you, Harold, for showing us your sin. We are going to be praying for you. It's great that you guys continue to let us know that you're in sin. Admittance is the first step. Hi, babe, you're doing amazing. Life without you is pointless. Oh my goodness. This is why I love my husband. Did you guys see this? Do you see this adorableness? Life without me is like a broken pencil. It's pointless. These are the moves right here, you guys. I hope every husband or boyfriend or hopeful out there is watching my husband, because he's got the moves, you guys. This guy right here, he knows how to charm a reformed girl at heart. Sometimes I'm like, babe, I don't deserve you. And do you know what his response always is? Always. Whenever I'm like, I don't deserve you, babe, he's like, I know, you deserve hell, but God gave you grace. And it's the best. It's the best response that you can give your reformed wife. So, okay, here we go. Also, somebody, I think it was Chris, just sent me Hey guys, gotta love the cheesy pickup lines. It's not cheesy, it's perfect because you're perfect and I love you. Okay. Also, thanks for watching while you're at work. Bravo, that's right. Everybody applaud my amazing husband. He's so adorable. You guys tell him how much you want him to be on another program, okay? Because I've been trying to get him back on the program for a while and he keeps on telling me that he's absolutely not going to do it. And I feel like if we give him enough pressure, that he'll do it. I just got an epic picture from Chris, though, and I can see it because over here, where you guys can't see, is another computer so that I can actually figure out who's messaging me on Facebook, because sometimes it shows me on the screen and sometimes it does not. And so popped up here is a beautiful French bread pizza without a side of pineapple on it. So bravo to Chris. Well done. Absolutely fantastic. Cheesy pickup lines are a must, okay? Cheesy dad gifts, dad jokes, dad gifts. Wow. Dad jokes. Thank you, Chris. Patrick and I both just at the exact same time. We need a dad joke off. That would be fantastic, you guys. I think my husband should come on live and do a dad joke off where you guys are also sharing dad jokes. And let's see if we can get him on live. Right now, he just clicked off of the video and ran as far away from it as possible because he is avoiding joining us on the program as much as possible. So thank you, Cindy T. I appreciate it. I keep telling him that, and he's shy. He wants me to have all of the video and stuff and him be able to be in the background. And I'm like, no, I don't think that works for me. But okay, let's keep going here, you guys. I do have some really, really cool stuff to share with you guys. Also, let's see. Ooh, these are great. These are great. Are you guys ready for this? I have for you all what you need for Valentine's Day. If you are married or you are dating and you are worried about Valentine's Day, as one does worry, of course, about Valentine's Day. My husband was like, hey, we're going to be traveling during that week, so can we just like ignore Valentine's Day? And I laughed. I laughed so hard. And then whenever I finally took the knife off of his neck and I stopped threatening him, he was like, I'm sorry, babe, I'll take care of it. But here is the solution to Valentine's Day if you need solutions, if you are concerned. Here we've got Calvin on this one card saying you're irresistible. And Martin Luther, of course, I've got 95 reasons why I love you. I love it. I love it. Our tulips were predestined. That one's my favorite. So you guys, I put a link to these fantastic cards in the descriptions below, above, depending on where you're at. Why would you worry about Valentine's Day when my birthday is right around the corner from it? That's fascinating, Chris, because my birthday is right around the corner from Valentine's Day too. So are you a March baby or are you a February baby? Because I'm March 2nd. And so it's literally like I'm going to get something fantastic on the 14th, and then I'm going to get something fantastic a couple of weeks later. Huh? I mean, how about that? Wedding anniversary right around there? No kidding. Are you serious? Patrick, how many years have you guys been married? I want to know. That is really, really exciting. I think I missed a comment there. I'm going to zoom in over here to look. Let's see. What if you're married and dating? Just kidding. Cindy T. Da-doom-doom. That's funny right there, okay? Seriously, that is hilarious. And we'll be praying for anybody that is. You know, I have always found this fascinating because you see these, I don't know, like, well, there's two versions of it, right? There's like the player, I guess, that you see on the shows that's got like the wife and then he's dating other people. And then you see like the guys that are like, no, I seriously just have several wives. And my thought every single time is, but why? Why? Was your first wife not as annoying as me? Is it just possible that maybe I have exceeded annoying at such a high degree that in my mind having more than one is just not worth the trouble? I don't know. Maybe other women are just not as obnoxious as I am. My husband literally just said to me a couple of days ago, he was like, we don't need to have more children. I've already got you and Caitlin. Because I flushed the toilet while he was in the shower. I can't help it. Every time. I can't help it. I'm sorry. So, anyways, yeah, that's just me. I don't know. But I just don't understand why anybody would want more than one of us. We're quite maybe it's just me. I'm quite a handful, you guys. Poor Lauren is nowhere near getting to her mega list. I'm not, Chris. You're right. But you know what? At least I found things to talk about because I was really worried about it today. I was like, nope, it's not happening today. It is not happening. My brain is not working. But I do have a prayer request for you guys I wanted to mention because I did not know about this. I heard about it from Brooke Bartz, and she is the author of Chronic Love, which unfortunately I have packed. But if you guys need a fantastic book, Chronic Love, God's Sovereignty in Chronic Illness is just hands down the best book on illness, especially chronic illness that you're going to find. Absolutely fantastic. Brooke Bartz did such a fantastic job on that book that she has actually, in the book, she had to use 2 different versions of the Bible because she was worried about copywriting because she quotes the Bible so much. Cindy T, that is awesome. 9 years of marriage for both Cindy T and Patrick, not to each other, but to their spouses. And I think that is fantastic. Super duper cool that you guys are heading towards the 10th. That's the big one, right? It would be, but we forgot. We forgot about our 10th anniversary and mulled right past it until like a month went by. And I was like, I feel like we forgot something important. Wasn't there something important we were going to do this month? Oh, that's right. We were going to renew our vows at 10 years in Hawaii. Didn't happen. Nope. Unfortunately, we forgot about it for sure. Okay, I have to see. I am using the wrong mouse to use the other computer because I got to see who said 2 years. Sandy T, 2 years in May. You guys are the cutest married couple. Oh my goodness. Sandy T and Pastor Edward are way cuter than us. So, I mean, for anybody, Chris, who says that it's gross, whenever my amazing husband and I are all like adorable, Sandy T, I just mixed 2 of you guys up. Sandy and Patrick are way cuter because they're far more newlyweds than we are. Oh, wow. 16 years, 13 years, 26 years. You guys are amazing. That is so cool. Kristen, that's interesting because we're almost the same age. And Justin and I will be celebrating. Wow.
What's wrong with you people?
We'll be celebrating 13 years this year in September, if we can remember, which we won't. At least for him, for his sake, he never gets in trouble because I'm going to forget too. So it kind of works out. Words are hard, Chris. Thank you for understanding. You can't edit them out of the live event. It's probably not the best idea that I do live events, but too late now. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys back to this squirrel here, and I am going to get a drink because I'm thirsty. So squirrel! I feel like I have not actually yelled squirrel at you guys enough. In fact, I think I might have stopped yelling squirrel some time ago. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I was not a good person before Christ. That's okay, Kristen. We're still not good people. Even with Christ, the only good thing in us is Christ. So it's okay that you were not a good person back then either. None are good. No, not one. Hey, we thought of the same thing at the same time. You've listened to our show. We don't edit the recorded show. Yes, we know all about how hard words are. Hey, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, Chris, because actually in my list of things that we're going to be talking about today is your most recent show, which Chris shared in the group, in the Tulips and Honey Hub group. So if you guys want to have all the links to all the stuff that I talk about on Megalist, not all of them, sometimes I just feel like being a real stinker and I'll go and just like snag my own. But most of the time, the links that I'm talking about are usually already in the like group. So make sure that you're a part of our group over on Facebook. But Chris and Rich's most recent episode is in the descriptions, and they're talking about the recent comments by like J.D. Greer and Beth Moore, and it's just incredibly important because they're talking about redefining what makes a church biblical, and you guys just watch Chris and Rich's episode because they're going to address this far more gracefully than I could, especially right now. No, just all the time, but even more so right now with the way that my words are just not working. But I did put that in the comments, descriptions, because it was such an important episode. So I'm very, very thankful that you guys addressed that. I'm I mean, I don't know. It's almost a good thing that the SBC couldn't get together and elect a new president because of COVID, because it was really leaning like they were really considering Beth Moore as the president, but then you still had Greer for another year. So I'm not SBC. It's not my wheelhouse, but it is important to watch because they are massive. Very, very massive organization, and it does actually include Stephen Furtick. So Beth Moore and Stephen Furtick, J.D. Greer, lots of things to be concerned about with that. I didn't know Rich and I could ever be described as graceful. You know, it depends on who you're comparing it to, right? It's an arbitrary description. You know, Mr. Forkel is graceful compared to... No, never mind. He's not graceful compared to anything. That was a bad example. Anything is more graceful than him. He literally, sometimes I'm not sure if he can see properly because he'll run into walls and doors like they're not there. Buddy, we've been in this house for a few months now. I feel like you should probably know that there's a door there. And he just runs straight into our feet, all kinds of stuff like that. Off to work for Patrick. Have a great night. There's another night shift worker off to work. I don't know what time it is in your state. It's 7 o'clock here, which means it's like 9 o'clock Central Standard, right? I'm guessing. I think that's correct. So I should probably wrap this up for you poor folks who want to sleep. Let's see here. What's the next thing on this list? Oh, okay. We have some really cool questions. But before we get to the cool questions, I was going to give you guys the rest of... Justin Peters has a new video on false prophets. It's about 3 hours long. We'll have to check that out. And Sandy, you pointed out that there were some folks getting messages from somebody who is actually not Justin Peters and is saying things that is not him, that he wouldn't say. So definitely a concern that we need to be keeping our eye out with, because I know it's hard to get that reputation back once it's been hacked online. Very concerned. May the minty chocolate goodness bless all your tongues. That's hilarious. Okay, let's see here. I think I missed a few comments. I worked late shift 1 year, got fired, was overwhelmed with joy. It's true. Night shift work is terrible. When I first started staying home and we started traveling and they put Justin on they put my husband on night shifts, we tried to like halfway switch to nights just so that we'd all be able to like be on the same page together. And so Kaylee and I were staying up until like maybe 1, 2, 3 o'clock at night and then sleeping in, and we quickly realized that nothing is open at that time. So it was a bad idea. Because just because we were awake late doesn't mean anybody else was, and we couldn't make like doctor's appointments and stuff. So it was difficult. Sometimes they even try to get him to do like both, where he'll do like a night shift and then they'll try to make him do like a day shift. Everyone's like, you gotta put it in your contract that can't be happening, because it's ridiculously difficult to, go right back and forth. Your brain starts to melt and ooze out and stuff. But anyways, we do have some really, really important stuff that I wanted to share with you guys. Just some cool recommendations for you over the weekend if you want to check them out. One of the things is an article that was actually shared in the group by Pastor Jim of Veritas Domain about the aseity of God. And so he's dealing with like the attributes of God. And I think the aseity of God is something that people really tend to get confused or maybe just misunderstand. The word itself is difficult, like, aseity. How do you pronounce that? How do you spell it? It's spelled Aseity, and I only know that because it's sitting in front of me, and I could not have spelled it correctly if it wasn't, but I've got a little piece of paper right here. See my piece of paper? And it's got notes on it telling me what I'm supposed to be saying. So, but this article is an absolute fantastic explanation of the doctrine of God's aseity, all the way that affects all the different things, the meaning of it, what it means. And I feel like one of the first things that I tell people when they've freshly been saved, or if you're dealing with a newer believer, that they need to get the person to understand is the gospel and the attributes of God. Because the gospel is something that even once you're saved, you need to be able to fully understand that for the gravity of it to weigh on you. So, if you are saved because you hear the truth of the gospel that Jesus came to die for your sins, and you recognize yourself as a wretched sinner and you repent, there's still some questions in there. Like at the Bible study with Kristen, the women's Bible study happens every Tuesday. One of the girls asked about repentance, and she was asking, like, if it's commanded, is it a work? How is it that it's commanded, but it's also not what saves us, that God is saving us? Like, just this fantastic question of confusion that like a lot of people would be too afraid to ask. But I was really excited to see a young person and a young believer asking that kind of a question. And I think that there are a lot of things about the gospel that people can get confused about. But one of the biggest blessings in my life was whenever I began to study as a new believer the attributes of God, because understanding who this great God is makes it even more amazing that he gave us his grace and forgave us. Because when you recognize the sinless perfection of God, that he is absolutely, like the doctrine of aseity, that he needs nothing. He didn't need to create us. He doesn't miss us. He wasn't lonely, so he created, human beings. He's not sitting up there crying and sad. He's complete already. And it not only helps deepen your understanding of biblical truths of Scripture, helps deepen your understanding of God, but it helps deepen your understanding of just what it means to have been saved. Because the more you see God's goodness in light of our wickedness, it really brings the praise. Especially if you're going through a dry season. Like, a lot of people, when they get saved, there's a few months, maybe a year of like glowing joy, things like that. Obviously around them things are, probably, for not everybody, but a lot of folks, there can be a lot of things happening, family members abandoning them, church, if it's a false church, things like that. If everything can be chaos on the outside, but the joy of being saved for that first few months or first year, whatever it is for each individual person, can be, it can kind of carry you through that. But a lot of people experience a dry spell after that where they're like, and now what? Okay, but should I be feeling emotional all the time? Am I not saved because I don't feel emotional anymore? Was the emotionalism true, or was I a false convert? And so people go through that sort of dry spell. And at that point, if you start to really dig into God's attributes, it just cements that assurance of our salvation, because it anchors it to God and who he is rather than to us and what we've done. So she actually just mentioned two very, very helpful resources for that. And that is A.W. Pink's Attributes of God, and also Steve Lawson's series through the Attributes of God, which both of those made a tremendous difference on how I understood God. Also, Thomas Watson's 10 Commandments, definitely a huge help for me to understand God's attributes in light of the 10 Commandments. And that's sort of the idea of what he's doing there. He's explaining God to us and how the 10 Commandments are actually showing us who God is. And so that's also fantastic. I still go through that every now and then. That's Sandy. Yeah, I think that it can be really discouraging when you are, especially like us, Sandy, coming out of a false church, a false movement, full of emotionalism, where you were taught that emotionalism was the true meaning of faith, like you were as holy as your emotions showed. Then you become a genuine Christian. And Cindy teases, I feel so peaceful and thought something was wrong because I wasn't angry anymore. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The peacefulness, and it's not all the time. There's anxiety that comes with these things. There's confusion. I think my husband has really helped me understand that a lot of times the anxiety is rooted in the fact that I don't understand something, which for neurotypical brains is usually an easier fix. For my brain, because it's just not wired correctly. It can be difficult for me to connect the dots of these things. Okay, I'm confused, I'm panicked, I'm having an anxiety attack, but I don't understand why. And actually all it is that I'm not fully understanding what I'm supposed to be understanding at any given point, which is a lot of root to the anxiety, just not fully understanding and feeling like you can't ask, because in the movements that we came out of, a lot of us, you couldn't ask. If you asked, you were showing a sign of weakness. You were showing that you didn't have enough faith. And so I think that that can really go a long way, asking the questions and learning the attributes of God. So I'm very thankful for Veritas Domain writing those articles. It is a succinct, really, really well put together article explaining this in detail. So I linked to that in the descriptions if you guys want to check that out. I just talked quite a bit about that, so I'm going to give you another squirrel and I'm going to take another drink. Here you guys go, just to remind you once again about your failures. Sassy Squirrel is judging you all. He's judging you for your failure. Nicole, that is a great question. Every Tuesday, Kristen and two of her friends from TikTok, two sisters in Christ, have a Bible study where one of the three of them is teaching. And it is the exact same time each Tuesday. And Kristen, actually, if you're listening, maybe you can... oh, yeah, you have already answered. Find me on Facebook and I'll get you the info. Yeah, it's on Zoom. So she's got a Zoom meeting number, and I had it on here. And then I took it off, but I did have all the information here, and I don't know what I've done with it now. But it has been a tremendous blessing for me to even get to see some of you guys in that meeting. My son-in-law is an electrician. I'll send him your way to rewire. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. I just need it to be rewired and fixed up. I'm still waiting for Elon Musk to fix the Neuralink so that they can, put new wires in my brain that are going to fix it. I think probably COVID put a little bit of a wrench in those plans. I could be wrong, but I'm not going to lie. I'll probably be the first person to volunteer, because it can be very difficult and frustrating to be in a brain that's just not working the way everybody else's brain's working. And it seems like the world's just rolling right along without my brain catching up. But, oh, hey, is this the information? Oh, it's not got any of the information we need, though. Sorry, ladies. It is on Tuesday nights, but this doesn't have the password, and it doesn't have the little numbers that we need. That wasn't as helpful. Hey, there it is. Kristen's got it. Kristen's got it here in the comments. Hopefully you guys can see it. Meeting number is 91617174345. Password is... It left the screen, and now I can't find it. I can't find it on the screen. Fiddlesticks. That's okay. It'll pop up eventually. I don't know why it left the screen like that. It was there. Weird. Yes, that's right. It's every Tuesday. Your brain works just like mine, so I understand. Thank you, Nicole. I really, really appreciate it. Wait, so you're an Elon drone? Yes. Chris, not yet, but I will be. I will definitely be. I know there's a lot of people that are like, this is unnatural and not the way that we're designed and stuff like that. And I'm all over here like, listen, you guys, I can't keep on. I can't keep on with like the way my brain's going, so I'm just gonna volunteer. And then if I am a guinea pig for you guys, then I can pat myself on the back and be like, look, I'm really doing a nice thing here. So don't send me messages about how I'm the Antichrist. Bye, Sandy. I hope you and your wonderful grandbabies have a really, really great night. Let's see if we can move right along here. We did get through a couple of things at least. Let's see. What other links do I have for you guys? There's 2 pages here. I don't usually have 2 pages of notes, but that makes it difficult. Aha, that's it. Now I can tell you guys about the prayer request. Okay, that's good. And then I have a couple of questions for you guys. To answer from you guys, and then I'll be done, and I'll let you guys go enjoy your Saturday night, because I'm not letting you leave yet, so you'll stay until no, I'm just kidding. You guys can totally leave if you want to. I'm just joking. But anyways, let's see. What was I gonna say? Ooh, the prayer request. So I did not know about this, guys, but Paul Washer he's got the Rona. He's got COVID, and immediately whenever I heard about that, I was like, but he had a heart attack, and so his heart is a concern. So we got to pray for Paul Washer, because that is, if you guys don't know, that is definitely I don't know him. I've never met him in person, but somebody sent me his sermons when I was a false convert, And so with the, it's kind of like being a father of faith to me, even though I've never met him, right? Is that weird? Creepy? I don't know. Could be. But I'm concerned for his health and his safety, so we need to pray for him. Kristen, I'm super excited about that. I do not have a sneak peek for it, but I am going to be posting your interview with Doreen on the channel and on the program on Monday if you guys have not gotten a chance to check it out. Or you can just go watch it on Doreen's channel, because we both post them at the same time. So you can watch it on mine, or you don't even have to wait till Monday. You can go watch it on Doreen's channel, because Kristen did another interview and I was blessed to be able to join them for that. It's always such a blessing to be able to hang out with Doreen. If you could all keep my family in your prayers. My aunt just died this week. We know she is with Christ. I got to see the rest of the comment from my phone because I can't see it on the screen. But all members are in mourning. Chris, we are definitely going to be praying for your family. I'm sorry to hear that you lost your aunt, but praise God that she is in glory. There is always such a tremendous difference in when somebody passes that is saved and we can rejoice, than whenever somebody passes that was not saved and we sort of feel that desire to really just continue sharing the gospel as much as possible while we still have time. One of the things that was really moving to me when I was interviewing the Hunts, that episode came out on Monday. They were missionaries in Paraguay for decades, and they went to a tribe there in Paraguay that didn't have a written language, so they had to translate the Bible into that language and actually also create a language. And one of the things that he mentioned was that there was such a difference when people would die in that community after they were saved than beforehand, before they had heard the gospel, and the difference of how they felt about things. And I was really moved whenever he mentioned that there was the interpreter that got sick and he didn't get the chance to really share as much as he wanted to the gospel with that person. So we are rejoicing with you, Chris, that she has gone on to glory, but also praying because it's still we're still here, and it's still hard to be without our loved ones, even if we are rejoicing that it's good for them, but it's sad for us, right? So we will definitely keep your family in our prayers. I really appreciate you letting us know about that so that we can join with you in prayer for that. You guys, I love getting the chance to pray with you. If you have prayer requests, send them in, post them on the page, or if you want them to be private, you don't want me to share them, you can always email me or let me know in a private kind of way as well, because getting the chance to pray with you guys is truly one of the joys of being a believer. Can you guys even believe that we have that ability to go before the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, like in prayer? Just blows me away. I'm constantly blown away by that. Josh says, can you add a prayer request for me? My ex-wife reached out to me. She has a tumor in her brain that is benign, but will require surgery and radiation. Just found out 2 days ago. Wow. Joshua, I am so sorry to hear that. That is, surgery is always frightening, and radiation, it makes people really, really sick. So we will definitely be praying for your ex-wife, and hopefully the surgery goes well, but we'll continue to be in prayer for her for that. Thank you for letting us know so that we can pray for her. And let's see here. That was actually the only prayer request I had on here, but I did have a couple of really great questions. And the first one, I think I have a picture of. I think I have the picture of the question. Do I? I don't. Why did I not put it on here? I took a picture of it. I took a picture and screenshotted it, and I didn't put it on here. Whoopsie. Okay, well, I'll just tell you what the question is. But I need to take a drink first, and I don't know about copyright, so I have to share another squirrel with you so that I can take a drink. There we go. Also, I forgot a squirrel today. A squirrel? What? No, I forgot a straw. Wow, it's bad. We gotta finish this up before it gets any worse. My medicine wore off a long time ago. Can't take it this late at night. So, okay. Let's see here. The question, I'm gonna have to pull up the actual picture though, because I didn't write the question down like a normal person. I took a snapshot of it. like an abnormal person, like a weirdo. Because why not? Why not do that? More fun that way? Nope. Let's see. The question is, upholding the U.S. Constitution when some politicians are working to overturn it. Civil disobedience according to Romans 13? Question mark. Now, I think this is a fantastic question. I'm glad it was asked, and I'm really excited to be able to talk about this because right now, this is a topic that we really do need to talk about, we need to address. So what I did was I put a link in the in the descriptions below or above, depending on where you're watching from, of an episode that we did way back. I don't even know how long ago it was, but it was at like sort of the beginning, like maybe in the summertime. It was before I had COVID. So it was 2020, but before 2020 hit me with like a sledgehammer. So I did an episode with Patrick from Cave to Cross Apologetics on Romans 13, and he really did a fantastic job of exegeting that whole not just chapter 13, but reading it in context with chapters 12 and chapters 14 as well, because as we know, the chapters and the verses were not in the originals. So there was no chapter 5 verse 3 in the original Bibles. So when they were writing it, it was just written. We added the chapters. So they are not, in other words, they are not inspired. They're not canon. They're helpful references. I'm glad they're there. But it can really throw the context off if you start with Romans 13 and you don't read what Paul was talking about in advance. And so the important thing to understand whenever you're reading Romans 13 in context is that it's talking about vengeance. Paul isn't just randomly throwing, because if you don't have the context, it actually does seem kind of random. Like you just threw that in there, Paul. Where did that come from? Was it just like a little bit of weird inspiration, but no, in context, you can actually see that Paul was talking about vengeance. We don't take vengeance upon ourselves. God has given government the sword, so that they are actually the ones that are supposed to be making justice happen. So if somebody has wronged you, you don't go out and wrong them back. You submit yourselves to the government to do that, to do the vengeance, to make justice happen. And at the time that Paul is writing in Romans, you've got Nero on the throne of Rome, and he was not just. He was a sociopath. That guy was not just crazy. I mean, he makes Hitler look like grandma. Okay, I mean, he was lighting Christians on fire so that he could light his garden parties. It was bad. It was really, really bad, the things that he was doing. He was crazy. So Paul is saying that we are to submit to the authorities, the governing authorities. If we have been wronged, they're the ones that are supposed to make that right, not you and I. So there's a context to Romans 13 that is often ignored or forgotten, or maybe it's just more convenient to pretend like it's telling us we can't disobey the authorities. That's not to say that we shouldn't be as obedient as we can. Paul says we should be living as peaceful as possible among men. But where we are, where we're looking at the Constitution, if we are already living in this land under that Constitution, and there are politicians who want to break those laws, then it is not incumbent upon us to create the justice ourselves. We are supposed to make the legal, the means of legality happen, right? So we should definitely, a part of our country is to peacefully protest. A part of our country is to speak out against things. We have freedom of speech for that reason. So here in America, we have that desire, that need to make sure that we're saying, hey, this is what the Constitution says. You're not listening to that. So already at the premise of this question that Jathan asked is the idea that our laws are not being obeyed by our government. Members of that government, not the whole government, but members of that government are perhaps not obeying the laws already. So that is something that we have to take legally. We cannot go and get justice ourselves. So it's actually really helpful to understand the context of Romans 13 in these situations where something unjust happens and we're frustrated because we want justice. We want things to be just. We are designed and patterned in a way where we are exemplifying the actual attributes of God. God is just. And a lot of times we'll say, that's not right. That's not just. The right thing should be done. And if it's not, then we want to get maybe aggressive or angry or even sin. But actually what we need to understand is that justice will happen. God will make sure, either on this earth or in the next, that just recompense happens. But a lot of people say that they just want what they are owed, what they deserve. And we kind of skimmed on this earlier about what we deserve. You don't want what you deserve, I promise, because what you deserve is not justice in the way that you're looking at it. Justice would be hell for every single sinner, every single wretched, wicked sinner that has rebelled against the God that has given them air to breathe, with which they use to blaspheme his holy name. So we want God's mercy. We want his mercy in our lives. We want his grace. We don't want the justice to come slamming down on us. So it's ironic to me then that we struggle so much to offer up mercy, even while we are basically assuming or demanding that it's given to us each and every day, every time we sin. So it's a fascinating conversation to see that the country is struggling with this yet again. I think we should struggle with it. I think it's something that we should talk about. I think it's something that we should address. I don't think it's something that we should ignore. I think ignoring these things is what gets people so confused to begin with. But I do think that Romans 13 is not being used appropriately whenever it's used to say, hey, you can't be disobedient to government. That's not actually submitting to the government in Romans 13 is about vengeance. So definitely important. So I made sure to add that. Also, Cindy T says, I got my MRI results back. They found several white masses in my brain. It's called something I can't spell. It causes motor function problems and small strokes in my brain. More will be revealed. Cindy T, I am so sorry to hear about that. We are going to be praying for you and for more information on that for the doctors to definitely get more information to you. Can I hide behind that and take a drink? I can. There we go. How about that? It's an easier way to do it besides sending you guys away to it with random squirrel, but it gave me those little lights, those little things that buzz in your eyes that make me think I'm gonna faint. But we're definitely gonna be praying for you, Cindy, and keep us updated about that. We've been praying for you. This house, I know a lot of us listening to have been praying as well for you. Also, hello and welcome to Melly. Don't worry about being late. That's totally okay because we're just rambling on here. My goodness, it's been almost an hour. Okay, we have to close this down. I've got one more question sent in, and that's it. That's all we've got for tonight, and I'll let you guys go. The last question was about so a sister in Christ asked about having trust issues after leaving a false church. So I snagged this question from the group, so I'm not going to add like the name to it. I'm just giving the question in case somebody else will be benefited by the answer to this. So this question is, they've left a false church and they're struggling to trust even genuine brothers and sisters in Christ, and it's making them anxious. They're full of anxiety because they are struggling to trust, and so they're not sure what to do at that point. And I think that first of all, you're doing the right thing by already asking the question, because if you don't ask, how can you get an answer, right? And I know that I say this repeatedly, but it's so important that we make sure that newer believers and even people like me, you guys, I have so many questions. People who are who know me, who have to like put up with me on a regular basis. I mean, I ask them nonstop questions. So it doesn't matter how many years you've been saved. You should still have questions, and you do want to find yourself people who you can trust that you can ask those questions to, or pastors that, like MacArthur, have actually addressed so many issues that you can, you can go to like gotquestions.org and they have some great stuff. Patrick actually got the opportunity to interview the CEO, I believe, of gotquestions.org over on Caves to the Cross Apologetics. And so they do a fantastic job making sure that there's like 100,000 some odd questions answered. So asking the questions is the perfect way to start. Also understanding that going through that, what this sister in Christ is going through is 100% normal. We have all experienced this in one way or another for the most part. I doubt that there's somebody out there that hasn't been deceived or lied to in some context. What makes it difficult as a believer is then having to figure out what you do from there. How do you trust then at that point? And the answer is always just one day at a time, one issue at a time. You slowly build that trust up with believers. And also, while you're building that trust up with believers, you should remember that they are also human and sinful. And even in the best relationships, there's going to be a time whenever you feel like you've been hurt by somebody, even if they are saved. So try to keep it in mind that you're dealing with other human beings. We don't want to glorify people. So there's that balance that you have to keep. On one hand, you want to be sure that there are people out there that you can trust, and you do want to be working on building that trust as you go. But on the other hand, you don't want to throw your trust in one or two individuals and then be devastated when you are let down by them. And that is, of course, me speaking from experience, because it's exactly what happened whenever I was first saved. I threw my entire trust into a handful of individuals that were there at the beginning whenever I was first saved, because I assumed then that they were absolutely perfect, and I didn't voice it like that, but in my mind I was like, these are the best human beings on the planet and they'll never ever ever hurt me. But it's not true, because they were actually human beings as well. And so when it did happen that somebody was doing something wrong, I was devastated, because I thought that wasn't supposed to happen in real genuine Christianity. That was only supposed to happen in the false churches that I had just come out of. And so then you're left saying, well, where do I go then? What do I do? There's imperfect people everywhere. And what you do is you go right to the mirror and you're like, oh wait, I'm one of them. I am also one of the people who is definitely not perfect. I thought the church would be like Jesus. I was wrong, Melly. That is exactly right. We do have that, and not everybody. Some people, like this sister, struggle to trust anybody. Some of us are balanced, throwing ourselves into the wrong balance. One side is a ditch, the other side is a mire. We want to stay on the straight and narrow. And it goes back to mercy, like we were already talking about. We've been forgiven much, so we can forgive much. We should be gracious and understanding. And this is a horrible, horrible rhyme, but it's funny. So I'm going to share it with you guys because it's late and we're almost done. Roses are red, poop is brown. I had no expectations and I still got let down. I know that's ridiculous and silly, but sometimes we do need to realize that we need to lower our standards a little bit, and not expect anybody out there to be perfect, because there's not going to be a perfect person. There's not going to be a perfect church. There's just not going to be a perfect place. Everywhere we go, we will see other sinners, and they are seeing us. Especially our spouses. Our spouses see us at the very worst. So it's something that we do need to consider, that we're going to be let down, but also that we do need to place our trust in other believers in a different way, in a way that in a way that's not glorifying them, not saying, hey, I trust you to never ever hurt me, but saying, hey, I trust you enough to let you be a part of my life, which is difficult for some folks, especially after coming out of a false church. Just allowing people to be a part of your life, be a part of their life, letting them in, telling them about the things that you're struggling with, stuff like that, really is, it can be hard for people, especially in some of these false churches like the ARC Church, like Kristen addressed, where they're using your weaknesses against you. it can be really, really difficult. So if you're having anxiety about that and you're struggling to let people in, continue to pray about it. Don't push yourself past an extreme. Sometimes our warning signs are going up because God has given us discernment, and we shouldn't trust some people because some people are really wolves and not sheep. So don't just completely throw yourself in the other extreme, but be praying about it and make sure that you are giving yourself grace. You don't have to expect yourself to instantly be okay after you've been deceived by a church or hurt by a group of people like that. Just like an abusive spouse or an abusive parent, it takes time to deal with all the things that have happened and work through all the stuff that you've been through. So give yourself some grace if you're there at that point and you're struggling with that kind of anxiety and you're struggling with trust. It's going to be a daily thing, and God will graciously sanctify you through this time of struggle. So hopefully that was helpful. I thought these were fantastic questions. If you guys have questions that you want me to answer or food that you want me to judge you for eating, then you can reach out to me or leave it in the comments, and I'll address it again next week, probably on Friday. I think we are moving on the 8th. So between the 8th and the 12th, we'll be in nowhere land. So we'll have all of our stuff in our U-Haul and we'll be traveling across the country. So if I am hard to reach right now, it's mostly because my brain is not working. But also because we are packing up things. So that is it. That's all I have for you wonderful humblebees today. I will see you all on Monday. Look forward to Doreen's episode coming out, but if you don't want to wait, you don't have to, because Doreen has already dropped it and you can totally go watch it there, because we just want to get the truth out to as many people as possible. I don't care where you watch it, as long as you get the truth about ARC and how terrible that organization is. And I love all of you wonderful humblebees, and I will see you guys on Monday. Bye, guys.